gonna be great. Starting 4:31 p.m. Welcome, top fellas, to the 8-hour stream. This is gonna be. I don't want to describe it. I'll let me at the 8-hour mark describe it. Maybe I might describe it earlier on. Who knows? All right. Run efficiency mode. I feel like if OBS went in efficiency mode, that'd be very bad. So, I think I wanna keep that in control. All right, closing my task manager. This should be the thing. Why is my video capture camera that small? Okay. Let me fix it real quick. Don't know if I'm gonna play music in the background. I'll leave it at that. Here's what we're gonna do this stream. So this is what we're gonna begin with. So this stream is gonna be very long. This is gonna last until Christmas, like I did last year's stream. Streaming until Christmas, until 12 a.m. Right? There's this number one player up here. They're number one. VV Tabby. VVTABI, VV Tabby, level 111, me level 92. They have around 6,659 minutes in game, and I have around approximately almost entering the 2,000 minutes mark in game. 3 times less than theirs by quite a much, probably 3 times more, but not 4 times more than I do. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grind the shred out of myself for as long as possible to surpass this person so much that they're gonna give up and resort to paying my Robux to try to gain their levels, unless they suddenly have a competitive side and show their competitive side for once. But they've only gained 7 levels as the last time I checked. Their 104 to level 111, meaning 7 levels were gained during, let's say, a week, 2 weeks, since they were 102 last time, because they went to 102 to 104 after they noticed me going from 75 to 86, which says something about me. And then in the same day, I streamed today earlier, streaming myself going from 86 to 92, and now I'm less than 20 levels away from their level. So what we're gonna do is grind so much that I'm gonna pass their level, not only pass their level, but surpass the level by such a margin. If I'm tolerant, if I'm patient, and I don't, accidentally gas out and I get burnt out from playing the same game for a long time. If I do get burnt out, I'll play another game. As long as I surpass this person first, will I go into another game? That will be my excuse. I'll just continue to go, even if I surpass the level. And if I stop, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore, I'll change the game. And because the stream is going to be 8 hours long, this is as long as my eating routine. So once at a certain point, I'm going to have to stop for a break. So I have to stop for a break screen ready, just for all of you, just in case that happens. So I want you to at least listen to some music while I'm gone, because, well, attention span. Hello there. Welcome, TikTok users. Get the hell off my stream, but also hello, welcome, TikTok users. And also, I think TikTok's getting banned next year. So yeah, I don't think they'll sell themselves anytime soon. If they do, yeah, TikTok, you got no choice. And also, by the way, let me get this straight out to you, ByteDance, who owns TikTok. All right, this is my message to you, ByteDance. Go follow yourself. Go follow yourself really good. Maybe instead, we'll break your everything apart. Break down everything. Doesn't matter. Just break down. I want you to go not just bankrupt. I want everything to fall apart. I want everyone that around you that you work with to fall apart. All right, your affiliates can go at sure. You this all right. Okay, so that's what I had to say in the ByteDance. I had to censor the last few words by covering my mouth when I said something too offensive for YouTube to hear. Because I know what I'm saying damn well is gonna get me banned on YouTube. So, my graphics quality is at 1. My audio volume is at 2. I'm gonna drink water. I'm gonna stretch because I'm about to sit down for a while. And then get myself ready. All right. First, let me deal with somebody knocking on my door. That didn't even last 5 minutes. Look, I'm 4 minutes 40 minutes. All right. Let me. Okay, I'm back. Let me see if I need to charge. Yeah, I need to charge my phone. All right. Oh, all of you, real quick. Fun fact: one of my earliest songs from 2021, named "Wonky Girl" of Von Theory Season 1 OST. Forgotten the number it was. That one actually has a riff. Weird to know that I, after looking into how guitar riffs work in synth riffs, because synth riffs actually exist. Similarly, I made a synth riff with Wonky Girl's song audio from the Von 30 Season 1 series, Season 1 soundtrack by the Projecttian, produced by the Projecttian, designed by the Projecttian, and ideologized by the Projecttian, and mastered by the Projecttian, and distributed by the Projecttian, and also produced by the Projecttian, and written by the Projecttian, and produced and composed by the Projecttian, an electrician being the Projecttian, with the Projecttian through the Devon Department Studios label. So I was gonna say, so I looked into like the main chorus where it goes da 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 da, that thing. So I realized that in between that part, there's a sense going da 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 da. So there's some chroma going on. I listened very closely, and it seems I went for it. And then I also another synth going and I figured I was going. That's a riff, a trill, riff slash trill. I was going for an actual trill in the sense I noticed that I was gonna look into the project file for Wonky Girl, and it seems I made a riff. So if I was to say play it on the guitar, I unfortunately don't have an electric one, but it can be electric. Fun fact, like classic guitar, because I looked into it, studied it, and reverse searched it online. It seems that it is also an electric guitar. So if I was to plug an amp to it, I can make it go. I can just make it go like that. Of course, not here because unfortunately, there's another fun fact about electric guitars. They're damn loud, so I can't play it here. So even if I wanted to, I can't play it. Even if I'm alone, I can't play it. That's too loud. Electric guitars are damn loud. So like even if I lower the volume, I wouldn't. So and again, I don't have earplugs because electric guitars are known for being damn loud. So if I don't have earplugs, I'm basically destroying my eardrums and making it worse for me when I turn 30, which I don't want. So Monkey Girl has a riff. I try to look into other songs that I've made that also have riffs, and it seems the Saffron Intelligent has a sort of one. And I think if I'm right, there's like a song that I make where it's like making a little that's a riff. If you speed it up, it's gonna get you're gonna get if you speed it up, that's a riff. Say 190 BPM, 170 BPM will probably get me past there. You know what? I had to start like music stuff because music theory is completely useless, but I at least want to know it so that I can stop being bothered by it, so that people who come up say, hey, do you know music theory, Vis? How are you making these melodies? No, I don't know music theory. So I studied music theory for around 2 months, and it seems it made me aware that some of the stuff I made that I thought was simple back then wasn't exactly simple back then. Meridian and Deprived of Proper Stress, the songs from Avant 3 Season 1 tracks. Fun fact, I played it with my own fingers. Those songs had, yes, it was not a MIDI. I played the songs by rhythmically playing on a MIDI piano that was cheap, free to use on BandLab, on, I think it was my phone, and I would have it in my face around 6-5 inches away from my face, and I'll just go I don't, you know what I mean. So I guess I actually played it with my fingers. What that is what is it called again? I think it was close to being a leitmotif, but that's nothing like that. Because also I think another fun fact is nobody's gonna fucking study me anytime soon until somebody studies me, and when I don't know when that is. That is almost a leitmotif. And it seems on my channel there's a scarcity of leitmotifs on my songs, so you're not gonna find anything too French. But if you go to Wonky Girl by Von Theory Season 1 OST soundtrack number one, no, soundtrack something by the Projecttian like me, you'd find something, well, dun 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 dun. And if you hear how fast it's going and the beat's going, and there's also the second bass line is going. Something like that. So complicated because back then I didn't make formal drum beats in my song when there's a drum beat, so I had to work with what I had. I think I went 3/4 times, 5/4 times, 7/4 time, and halftime in my earlier songs. Oh, I did a lot of string solos back then too. That made me. I guess I'm very aware. I guess music theory can make you sort of aware. Um, it doesn't. I'm not saying that's what I needed to learn and everything, but that's saying is that it made me aware of like the smallest unnecessary, technical terms on my music. Say somebody looked at my music rather than the very very realistic, emotional, unique, and technical, creative aspect, and they saw for like the technical aspect, that none of the very vague answers, and he's on, oh, what you did there was like a string solo, and then I had to go, oh, I really did what? Yes, that's a string solo. Oh, this and the song here, whatever, who, like I think it was fractured. I think it was Fractured Time or something like that. I don't know what song it was. It was Fractured Time or something else, like the Deep Dark Depth. One of those. There's a piano solo I did. And I just wanted to add it there because I said I don't want it to repeat. That was my reason for the piano solo, which I didn't think was a piano solo. Now I know it's a piano solo because somebody said that's a piano solo. That's not because you wanted to. It's because you made a piano solo there. How long did it take you to write that? And I said I didn't write it at all. I just put it down on the keyboard MIDI, and I said, yeah, I just want this part. I don't want it to repeat. And he was like, what? That's what? Didn't you search it up? What's inspiration? I was like, no, there's no inspiration. I just made it on the spot. Can you show me? Maybe I showed my project time. I showed one guy my project time on the project with that piano solo in it, with the entire progression. And it shows that when he worked on the song for like 2 hours 32 minutes. He's like, and he says, quote, by the way, I don't speak like this, by the way. He spoke like this. Bro, that you made that in 32 minutes. How did you do this? Bro, it takes me like 8 hours or 9 days to make something like that. That's what he said, by the way. So y'all know. Quote, end quote. And I'm like, and for me, I don't want to say like because that makes too many similes. That may not say too many similes. So basically, after that, that concluded things. So I got curious. I took some of their introspective into my music. I said, so say what if you were to look into some of my tracks, you analyze the technical aspects of my tracks, putting aside that it could sound like a genre or it has to sound like a genre, just the technical aspects of it. You listen to my music for a bit and then learn it. And that's when I discovered that on my channel there's like some songs where a small percentage of them have solos going in them, technically solos. So during this stream I'm gonna try to go into my music, not gonna try to play all of them. I'm gonna try to find any song where I did the longest technically solo in one of my songs ever. So I want to figure that one out. I want to go see if, like, say, what is is the Projecttians what is one of the longest solos I've ever made, basically. So I'm gonna look into that because I know the AI is not gonna do it. Fortunately, they don't. None of them have the feature where they're able to like scan for like anything that seems very out of place. That seems like a solo, so they can't do that yet, unfortunately. So I can just go, oh, let me send files of every song that I made to an AI to scan it for me, so I don't have to do that. So unfortunately, I can't do that. So I have to go through. I have to skip songs that I obviously know don't have like an element of me where I'm trying to make a solo something happen. I'm gonna skip those. I'm gonna skip super long songs where there might not be a solo at all, and it's just like it's just a melody, not a solo. So I'm gonna try to figure out. I know Salset by the Projecttian. Salset is it's orchestral, but it has a solo. It has a string solo. It's very, very simple though. I think some people who are, because I know I have a cadet who knows classical music a lot. Um, Basically some of my music that are like very that I play on my keyboard or phone or anything like my guitar, it seems like they're mostly tone poems. They call them tone poems. Well, I I don't think I have to explain it. The name kind of gives it away. Tone poems. Tone, poem, poetic, tone, tone of voice. Angry, happy, tense, super happy, super sad, emotional, triumphant, stuff like that. That's a tone poem. So my stuff's like sometimes I hit tone poems in my songs by accident, without me noticing. And so when I change, say, the beat in a song, I noticed that one of the first songs that I made, Avant Theory, some of the songs have times where the beat literally switches entirely, or it's like not even the same instrument, and I'm like, yeah, that's okay. It's not super well done. So I was very damn wrong. No, that is not super simple. Past me in 2021. I want you to hear. I want you all to hear this. I want you all to hear this. I'm gonna bring up my phone instead because I'm very my computer's already lagging because I know it's about to run for like 8 hours or less. I want you to hear this. This is a song, one of my early songs, right? I thought, oh, it's a simple until I get better at making music, it's gonna sound better. So I was damn wrong. I want you all to hear this. I want you to notice how the song doesn't even stay the same. Now I was like, that's simple. I want you to listen to this. I'm gonna get something real quick. I'm tired of like having to open a new window on my PC. I want you to all hear that. It's not it's not copyrighted. Don't worry. Hear it closely. Hear how it goes from this beat to like other things, right? Beware mid-eye heavy music. Oh, for you cadets, pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Look, look where it's gonna go. So it's repetition. Yeah, repetition. Dun, 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 stuff like that. Watch. So that's supposed to be me trying to do like a bridge or halftime. Watch. Hear it closely. And then the piano's entirely different. What's going on? It goes from dun 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 dun, something like that. And then it goes dun 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 dun. What's going on here? That was sudden. It went down a few scales, I think. And then it goes what? And then it keeps going. The beat switched. And then there's a synth. What? I thought this was simple back then. Are you kidding me? Hear that clear closely. It went from, hear how the beginning started? What the fuck is going on? So at the start, I was already being very technically I was being experimental, but I was also I'm doing a lot of switches. This is background music, by the way, for all you know. Background music. It's not a real song. Anything about I didn't even notice this. And I played this song recently. I want you all to hear this. Notice that? That's a synth riff. If I speed that up, move it just like half a little fourth to beat, you get a riff. Y'all notice that? I didn't even know that. And when I made Molten Wave or Molten for the first few Fonderiosties, I want you all to listen to this. Y'all know what that is? For those who are classically trained, we will pick up instantly what's going on there. Here you go. Wait a second. He's going bump, 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 bump. Think of it more technically. That's not a chord. Now you're all like, now you're aware. Now you're aware. Now you see what I mean? I'm like, whoa. I was trying to make songs off of just like letting, even at times when my melodies, I'm writing on the melody, because now I've learned to listen to damn ton amount of music. And times when I said I'd make it iconic, I didn't think I'd try to even make songs that literally on its own are carried by just a melody playing the same thing across the entire song, or a trill, a riff, a few same chords that are heavily catchy or unique to my sound. And at times I didn't even know songs where they are carried by mere ambience. Me trying to carry your ears, your listeners' ears, trying to like say, oh, you're just listening to dark ambience, like, oh, the Projecttian Juice Storm Ambient 1. I'm literally trying to carry you by just the main melody. I'm impressed I held that long. So I'm impressed. No, I definitely would try to make something say impactful, but I didn't think that now after going so long that me trying to carry like my young self tried to carry myself on melodies, which is crazy to think about. Because at one point, my Von Theory OST was used in the Von Theory series, right? The episodes. And young old me at 16, 17 years old tried to use these songs, and some of them only on their melodies as the background music, which is crazy to think of, that I try to entertain you with one melody, no chords. There's not a single. The only one of the first songs of mine that even had a chord that at least enter the next dimension, at least. Projecttian in Meridian Tone number 1. Look what they carry well. Dun 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 dun. That's not a chord. That's a melody. Look at here. Hear this one. Dun 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 dun. Not a chord. These are just melodies. Here, deprive the proper stress. No chords. They had zero chords. But guess what? One of the first songs I ever played had chords. I want you all to figure this one out. Watch. You guessed it. Cyclona's theme. Von Theory Season 1 OST number 5. Cyclona's theme introduces the Projecttian using chords in a song, and actual chords. Same one. Bum, 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 bum. That's 4 chords. The first 4 of my songs from the Von Theory series have no chords in them at all. They only go through melodies. That's all I try to entertain you with. Melodies. So from the start, I was already what some people call an extreme melody maker. I was trying to think of genius melodies, yes, where you press one key in very specific ways. That's what I see as. From the start, I tried to write melodies. Always was melodies. So I was like, what do I really start with in a song? I start with the melody. It's always been the melody for years. Seems that when I made a Philistine in 2014 and 2015-16, I always thought of the melody first. That is true. Because then I pieced it together, and it seems that one of the first songs that I tried thinking of years back before I actually made them in the future, all the songs were melodies in my head. I pieced it together, and it seems that whenever I hummed to myself when I was younger as a kid, and loved to hear the radio, I always tried to think of very euphoric, soft, trancey melodies that hum me to sleep. Melodies that I thought in my head when I was younger, as a 7, 8, 9 year old. I would use those to hum myself, all by myself. And one of those were Cyclonus theme, the Projecttian tone, Meridian tone, and I guess the Internet Next Dimension melody, which is merely somewhat lo-fi mostly. But Philistine, basically, that one. That melody, I guess you can say, is the hero melody, is the I invented. I did that. That was me. I guess I found a genius way to implement 6 different sorts of melodies for Philistine. Because at first it wasn't called a Philistine. Fun fact, it was called Heroic Conflict before it was called a Philistine. When I first invented it over a decade ago. So that says a lot. So now I connect the dots, and it seems that I always went for melodies. Here's another one for you. Moten. You'll notice no chords. Melody. One key. Adding a few keys. That's a melody. That's a melody. I try to find where I invented the melody. Similarly, because I was ready to make this 8-hour stream something very timeless. Because I try to make it timeless, everything timeless. Because in case somebody wants to document me, the Lowen melody, the Moten melody, or something that I picked up, dun 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 dun, actually arrived from me when I was I think I found right. I was playing around in PE when I was around 8 years old, 7 years old, I think 6 years old. I was trying to conceive of it. It was a melody that I thought was twinkly, mysterious, emotionless, with zero bar. So I thought, after seeing I think it was a movie I watched or something I saw on TV, was some boring. I think it was an infomercial that I saw happen, and the infomercial had something on the screen playing that was like very nonchalant, zero emotion in the thing it's playing, and it was just like playing the same melody over and over, while having this dun 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 dun. There's no emotion. It was just blank. It was just a blatant company corporate music track produced for just the commercial. So I took that, implemented it in my head, and because back then I didn't originally think of Lowen super way back then. It took me until like I was 8 years old to fully conceive of Lowen. But I didn't even call Lowen back then. Funny fact. I don't think I called Lowen. I think I called Lowen Viren. Viren, Viren. I called Lowen Viren or Vixen. Viren Vixen. I almost called Lowen Vixen the 8th or Viren the 8th. Yes, hilarious. Wow, Lowen almost got called that. Lowen is spelled Loe/En, Chronibia, Chronibia. So, yeah, there's that. I guess I got it from that. And all of you wondering, why did I want that? Why did I want something so completely useless? So I was like, I was a kid. Bear with me. I was a kid. I thought this when I was a kid. Bear with me. When I wanted, so I was like, I want to give the spin something of a spin. Maybe a spin. So I decided to give it a spin. So I want you. I'm gonna play something here on the keyboard. I'm not gonna play a full song. I don't have time for that. And my stream's main purpose is to surpass his #1 player on the leaderboard. But we're gonna to demonstrate you what I mean. Why we took the one chord from is that it was this corporate soundtrack played in an infomercial, and I was around 6, 7, 8. I don't know when. I can't pinpoint exactly. And it was around 2011, 2013, 12 in those ranges. And it was like. And then the commercial had something like this. Had this melody, and the chords I think were like this. Those were the chords. So I took from those chords, and I for you cadets, I took from those chords and I turned it into this instead. So that is what I turned it into, and people would go, wait, what difference does that make it? No, let me make sure I make it clear in your head. This is what the melody originally sounded like. This is what I turned it into. That's what I turned into. What they used was. That's what they used. That's to explain the one melody. The Motown melody, whatever you all want to call it. So all you're wondering, what about Night Drive? Dun, 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 dun. So where I got that melody from? Let me figure this one. That one arises from me. I think I remember it was a Marvel cartoon where they had this thing going on repeatedly in the scene. It was a fight scene between, I think, Thor and Spider-Man. I had no idea where the fuck I watched this. I think it was on my mom's phone or something. And there was like a very dramatic music playing around. And every time I kept picking up this melody. So I picked that up. And then, well, of course, now you all know what happened to that thing. So we went from that. Of course, there's a more advanced version of that, but went through a lot of evolution since then. I think what I tried to use this melody for was called Night Drive. But back then, okay, bear with me. I'm literally telling you, I made this all when I was a kid. So you all live stream viewers. Okay. Even if this doesn't get many views, let me tell you, it's still relevant because this will end up in the future later on. This melody, why I used it, of course I changed it from the original one, is I gave it my own spin, and originally the thing went for dun 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 dun, right? Dun 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 dun. That's how it's actually supposed to go. That's how it's supposed to go. Back then I wasn't as professional, so I didn't know how to play the piano that good. And here, fun fact, this thing actually has a key change version. You slide it up one, and you get. Yeah, you're probably wondering why this is a key change version. So the key change version was supposed to be there's one for the day, and there's one for the night. I call them the day-night melody. I made that. I wouldn't say I invented it. So I used this melody. I made a night version and a day version. What I was super fixated on back then was trying to look like a cool, super sick, dark, emo villain or hero, bounty hunter or whatever. That's what I was trying to game for. Look, bear with me. I was a kid. I thought it was very cool that I made it in my head. And I was like, I'm a superhero. I'm like Batman or something. Trust me, that was a kid. Calm down, don't worry. I didn't stick up with that for like a long time. It took me a while to finally slowly, get off from like people I used to be, almost got inspired by. And I grew up to go, okay, I'm gonna detach from those people, detach from those heroes, just detach from my inspirations, and then, slowly get more original. So I was like, I'm like Batman. I'm going into my vehicle or motorcycle or something like that, and I want to look cool. So I was like, dun 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 dun. And I was like, dun 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 dun. So I thought it was cool when I made the Night Drive melody. And yes, I thought I was trying to be Batman back then. Look, trust me, I was a kid. I was a kid back then. This is for the live stream. This is merely for educational purposes, telling you, explaining things that came from me, because people keep asking me where I got the melodies from. So I actually decided, instead of leaving a vague answer for people and saying that I made it in my head when I was younger, I'm going to actually explain where and how and what I saw that made me make it. So yes, that's where it came from. And yes, that is supposedly a riff. That's a riff. Yes, I made a riff. That was my first riff. It was called the Night Riff. Yes, that was the first riff I've ever made. For you people documenting me, I hope this helped you a damn ton. You're welcome. That's where I made it. No, I was inspired by Marianne the rest of the way because then I had to change up the melody and not copy it. The I want to take it down and it's all closed up, she's gone. Those melodies are based off the previous melodies. But then suddenly you're all going, then how the Shrek did this happen? Dun 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 dun. How the fuck did that happen? So what if I told you in Skycrest, I can say that. I can say that. I can say that on stream. I can do that. No longer in that school and nobody from there exactly is there. Alright. There was this Chinese kid. Yes, that's how I start the story for behind what Lit Grace Melody is. I call it the Grace Melody. Yes. Back then, I thought every girl that was named Grace liked the color gray. Bear with me, I was a kid. Shh. I was a kid. So why did I start with there was this Chinese kid? Why did I start with that in my story? It isn't made up. This kid really liked anime. He really liked video games. He really liked Mario. He liked Luigi. He liked Waluigi. He liked Wii, Nintendo, all of that stuff. And he liked anime. He liked very specific anime. If I'm right, the very 2010s anime because that's how far long ago it was. Back then, that stuff was being viral. If I'm right, most animes that I watched for the first time were from the 2010s. This kid, he had this one song. I wish I found it, but it had dun 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 dun. That it went like that, but it didn't go like that with the piano. It went like that. Well, all of you have guessed it with a hyperchord. Hyperchord. I don't know how they pronounce it. It was that. It didn't have that. So why is it so it's slightly different? It's not so it's different. Okay, you can say it could still sound the same for you. Technically, it still sounds the same, right? So why did I go with this beat? The beat arises from how I used to have anime music play in one of my classrooms in Skycrest. Can't say their names. I'll let you all figure that out if you all snitch and go over to my school to figure out who that was. The beat came from me inspired by the sound of ceramic pots and plates that we made in a stove that our teacher would bake for us when we did Play-Doh stuff or play stuff with like meshes and like stuff that you'd be able to make ceramic stuff with. So we had that. We played around with that, and one of the first inspirations I had for certain beats that sound some ways that sound like something very fragile or very very graceful. Pick that up where I'm getting this from. Very graceful. So why I brought up the part where I said girls that I assumed every girl that was named Grace would like the color gray. Because girls that were named Grace that I often would recognize in my school were actually delicate people. They were delicate girls, delicate little kids like me. I was a kid too, so I can call it that. They were delicate people. And gray was the color of the pottery that be given out before it turned into a very solid stuff, something solid. was that when it'd be colored gray. I picked that up, pointed it together, and I thought, what if instead the drum or snare sound was a very glassy and like very sithering sound effect, where it was like it was like so I used that. You all now can hear why it sounds like glass hitting. That was me trying to replicate the sound of pottery if it was hitting the ground, but it didn't break. So it make that little glass sound. It reads thricey, sounds, but it has enough bass where you can hear it go. That right there is a sort of glassy kick. That's why I went for that sound. And then I took the very graceful melody, and then you get this lick grace, because back then, trust me, as a kid, I do not do this anymore. I used to try to lick the material I needed to keep the pottery together. Yes, don't do that, by the way. Don't do that. That's poisonous. Don't do that. Don't do that to material that later put in an oven just to heat up so it can turn very hard and stiff, and you can, boom, you got your pottery. Do not lick that material, whatever. So I decided to reference that, and I call it the song Lick Grace. And that's why the song has a very glassy kick, very strange melody. Dun, 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 and then it has the name Lick in it, because I used to lick the actual material needed from pottery, and Grace for the color gray, and referencing very fragile things like the stuff needed to make pottery. And pottery, even if you heat it up in an oven, is still fragile. I have an example of it. There is this piece of pottery that I still have from my elementary school. This counts as one of the first art pieces I ever made. I want you to hear this. Which explains this. Now you know why it's called Lick Grace, and why the melody is gentle, very, very foolish sounding. So you can thank young me at 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old for making that. Now you're only about this one. And the strings going. It's called Not To You. This is first inspired by a melody I made around in Skycrest again. A lot of these first melodies I made for these songs, I tried to use my first melodies ever written or thought in my head. So it was inspired by a moment, and I was like, You're gonna go, why the fuck does that have to do with anything to do with the melody I use in the song? Those very exasperations inside of me being like I'm bored. Where me, by the way, I did this when I was a kid. All you need to be patient to follow it, man. You're documenters. I try to make sure that the melody's like, that's supposed to be me exasperating, going, not to you. I'm bored. I don't want to deal with you. That was me as a kid whenever I was in reading class because I didn't want to read. in elementary school. Just so y'all know. This is me in elementary school. Bear with me. And then you're gonna go, so what is that? Dun 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 dun. My teacher would often say hum a melody. That isn't exactly the same way, by the way, so you don't confuse it. It was not said, it wasn't hummed the same exact way. I combined my stuff, which is dun 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 dun. If y'all want to know what that is, it's that was the melody I spaced, but the teacher went for dun 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 dun. I went for dun 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 dun, because I thought Chinese people were ugly. So no, people are still watching the stream. Yes, yes. That the main reason why I made that dun 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 is because I was trying to get at Oriental music. Because this one Chinese kid, by the way, just so you know, I actually thank him for introducing me to anime. Just so y'all know. Back then I didn't exactly understand that, so I was like, let me get back at Chinese people by making something Oriental sounding. But the teacher went for dun 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 dun. So then I combined that, and then you got this very strange dun 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 dun. It still uses the. And then you get this. That's me exasperating. So that's why the string is only 2 notes. It's like me exasperating, like it's like that. That's why it's 2 notes. That's why the strings sound like that. It sounds like me exasperating, saying I don't want to talk to you. Which is why they sound like. That's why the song is called "Not to You," because I didn't like Chinese people as a kid. By the way, as a kid, it was a very childish reason. So I want you to make sure you add that. I was a kid back then. That was the inspiration behind the melody. I wanted to get back at Oriental music. And then you're wondering, what is that? It's supposed to reference me when I used to have us playing. There's this fighting game in the arcade where it was like. You'd have a guitar riffing going. You'd have something like that, which explains the little cracking sounds in the song "Not to You." I don't know how to properly produce that, so I just went with a cracking sound instead of a guitar low line bass. Now I want you to hear it closely. So why is there a part when not to you, it turns into this? You're probably gonna pick it up if somebody who's been on the internet for long enough would know. Da 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 bum da 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 bum da da bum bum. Brazilian. Yep, Brazilian. Exactly as what you said. You all expect. And you're going dun 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 dun. I was trying to copy marimba, salsa, and very beach sounding stuff like metal drums in a beach. When you play them, you get dun 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 dun. You know that metal drum sound? I want you all. If you all know, here's what I'm talking about: metal drums. So you all know what I'm talking about.
What separates successful music producers from everyone
Shut the
else?
fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Get the. This is in metal. This is all you all know. So you all know that's why that part from Not To You sounds that way. Now you know why it sounds like a metal drum. Bravo. Now you people who are documenting this would know why. Now that's why. Because then after I was getting bored of the same. Again, I was a kid. Again, I was a kid. The oriental sounding melody. And exasperation, string, a little two-note string thing going on. Then changing into something that sounds like, well, as what you call it, certain type of metal drum. And when you hit it, you get this melody. I try to mock it after beach music, and I heard that. And why do you go? And you go, why do you still put in the little kicks and the little clap sound is in the song? Then it goes dun 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 dun. Because I was trying to mock the two chord thing. Back then, I started once I started getting bored of radio music. Yes, as a kid, 9 years old, and so I was like, I don't like it. So I decided to make fun of like rap music when they had that boom 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 boom. So I mocked that in the song, which is why I kept the little sound in there. Now you all know why I put that part in there. And of course, my goodness all gracious, you all know this one, the one and only. Japanese and French had slight influences in the Wonky Girl melody. It's not actually, fun fact, not even called the Wonky Girl melody. It's called the Kern melody. Kurn melody. Kern melody. It is based on a very selfish, self-centered, toxic, and very violent girl. Militia Kern. I'm gonna say her fake name, so I don't end up coming as harassing somebody else online. It is based on something very French. Dun, 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 dun. The very thematic portion of French music with the Japanese element. Well, who made Atari sounds and stuff like that? The Japanese. What else do I have to say? You all should have done your history. So I use Atari, certain like very synth sounds and very sine waves, very simple. Oh, sounds like a video game. Dun 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 dun. So that's where I came from, with a little French twist to it, which is where the thing goes dun 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 dun, and it goes back and forth. And then of course using the very video game sounds. I also okay, let me be clear. This person that I'm talking about, this melody was transformed over a long period of time. This melody transformed for years. When I first made the melody, it was just dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. That's literally what the melody originally sounded like. Now it sounds like dun 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 dun. That's what it sounds like now. With the dun 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 dun. It should be 4/4 beat. So that's like the melody with the dun 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 at the same time, which gets you this. Why I wanted the synth to go dun 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 dun, because I wanted it to sound like it was an alarm. It's like dun 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 dun. That's why I wanted to go like that. In making it sound like a video game some type of thing with French and Japanese elements. Um, I wanted to go for that with the very string, trying to make it sound like that way. So if you got the string, remove the Atari, and added instead a harp in the guitar, it would sound more French. And if you add a flute to it, it'd sound more French. Don't try to bring up British music, voila. And again, the Japanese elements there too, which is some of the video game aspects of it. And the drums, you go, why is it going? Why is it doing that? The drum is referencing a sound that I heard when a disc got stuck. Whenever my parents would place in a disc in the VHS player, I realize I'm getting older now. That nobody uses that. Okay, let me first explain you what a VHS player is. VHS player is what we older people use to play tapes instead of discs in a box that took in this rectangular prism, black rectangular prism, whatever size, with 2 wheels on it. It would have a sticker on it with whatever title, whatever film or series or whatever thing you're watching. It'd be able to be played on this VHS player. It has tapes rolled in to a circle, 2 of them, so that whenever it plays, it would roll those and it would play the images played and saved on this tape thing. They call it a tape that you put into this VHS player, and that thing would play for us. So whenever my parents would try to put in something like that or a disc, I would hear a jam sound whenever the thing was too dusty. So you would hear this. That that sound comes from a disc getting stuck. It would go, and so that's the sound it'd make when it got jammed into the VHS player or the disc HD standard player media player that we'd have in these boxes. So it'd go, and then my dad would go, take it out, take it out, take it out. And that's where I got the drum sound from. That's where I get that is what happens when you take out the disc that got jammed into the machine. You would go, and so you got this sound. And then you get it. And then the ripping sound would be that. That's the disc. That's taking out the disc or tape out of the box, that electronic box. And that literally, I can't believe I have to explain what a VHS player is. So yeah, that's what I got that little drum sound from. And you go, so what does it have to do with wonky girl? Because the discs back then would be very wonky to me. The discs back then, because I was a smaller kid, would be big in my hands. The disc will literally. So nowadays, I can just hold a disc in my hand because my hand's so much more bigger than it was back then. Back then, discs were like floppy. They're like weird to me. They're like, ooh, shiny. Look at the background of this disc. Oh, look at this tape thing, big and chunky. So I thought they were wonky looking to me because they're like super fragile. Or like, I'm holding the disc with my one finger, mom. I'm not gonna get it dusty. So that's what I said. Just trust me. I said this when I was a kid. This is what I thought back then when I was a kid. Do not come at me. Get the fell off. Shut the fell off. Get the fell off my channel. Anyways, thanks to those who let me speak. Even though I'm controlling the stream here anyways. This is for like the documentary people. Anyways, and then you're gonna go, okay, so Viz, what the hell is with the idea of this song? That weird sound there was supposed to be me mocking eggs. Yes, when there was the April Fool's Day or Easter egg hunt day, when people used to do that back then more actively, we would have eggs that whenever you open them would make this pop, make that sound. And so whenever you open that and they make that little sound, you get this little. So that's where I got the. That's supposed to be an egg. So what is that? Hear closely. I was trying to reference my hands scraping the grass going. So I try to imagine myself back then. I used to do something with the grass on the back when I was younger, very young. I told you this is me when I was 7 and 9 years old. Uh, and I think of myself playing with the grass, going. So I try to make that in my head and then play it with my fingers. I just like slap my hand on the dirt and grass around a bunch of leaves, and I go. And I thought I was like a jazz artist because I thought I could play. So if I like, black people play jazz music. That's what I thought in my head. By the way, this is what I thought in my head. This is what I thought in my head. Warning, disclaimer. This is what I thought in my head. So I was like, oh, I can make that. So I was like, oh, and now I'm making jazz music. Oh wow! And I'm just scraping my hand through the dirt, making that sound. And yeah, that's where I got that from. Cause I was like, oh look, I'm making black people music. Trust me, I was a kid. 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 I said that. I thought that when I was a kid. I thought that was when I was a kid. That's where I got that little thing. So I tried to make the little jazzy thingy. So that was based referencing grass, me playing with the grass and making that sound with that little egg sound. And then you go. So what is that? Dun 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 dun. So there's this one intense game on CartoonNetwork.com that they would have this thing that go dun 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 dun. So I thought that I chopped it and then I give it my own spin. And remember, I didn't sample any of this. I merely had it in my head. I just didn't know how to write the music or play the music. Then you're wondering, where's with that in the background? That thing in the background was supposed to be like I thought of like a guy drumming, and at times whenever you hear their drumming like from like very far away, and you hear them drumming, it sounds like they're playing the same beat because you wouldn't hear the rest of the instrument, so you hear the so you hear the very faint timbre of the drum whenever it played. And I thought of cave people when they bonk a piece of wood with wood. So back then cartoons would make this very plasticky sound of wood where it sounds like boom 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 boom. So I thought of that and a very muffled drum from like 50 feet away, and then that's when you get the very muffled, very bonking sound drum. That's where that came from. Yeah, I could literally be doing this all day. You know what? Alright, I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm gonna use the restroom. Okay, I think I did enough history lesson. I'll explain the rest of them when I have time. I had to beat this person that's in the top place. I'm gonna return from the restroom and I'm gonna start grinding. My bad. I did that history lesson real quick. It's because I needed that for clips. I need that for like documenters. Anyways, I'm gonna mute my mic and I'm gonna come back. I need you guys to listen to something while this happens though. So I'm gonna It shouldn't be bad if I played some of my own music. So I'm gonna go to the restroom. I really badly need to use it. Whatever. I think you guys want to listen to. Oh, I forgot. Most of these are like WAV Strat. Okay. Alright. I'll just make you listen to like Project. No, you're the next dimension, by the way. Cadets, not just guys. Cadets.